got back to Philly. I flew into Baltimore. That's where I'm originally from, but I live in Philly now. So I just got back here.
All right, so we have a chance to talk to Justin Liberto. I don't know if you remember, but I think the day before you left for Vegas, we were cashing out together, and I asked you if you sold any pieces, and you were like, no, and that just shows you proof positive how good I run. Tell me a little.
Bring that up. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your experience, man, because you had, I mean, everyone here at the hotel, and I could only imagine down there, rooting for you.
Yeah, it was incredible. Just playing on such like a large stage, like just after I walked away, I was just like in poker. I mean, it might seem silly, but like that's the table to play at in the world. There's not another table you'd rather be sitting at. It was just really, really cool and just like humbled by the experience. It was just awesome.
Do you see things changing from here on out, or do you feel like the same Justin that left 7 days ago?
No, I definitely feel very similar. I mean, I think I'm just like a lot more comfortable now, of course, but just excited about what's ahead. Like I don't think I'm going to be playing as often anymore, but I'm definitely going to be playing what I want more often.
At what point did you really feel some serious traction in the tournament?
Well, literally right out of the gates on day one, I like first 2 or 3 levels. It was just like I went from 4,500 starting stack to like 16,000 probably in like 2.5 levels. I felt like really good to have 4 times starting stack pretty quickly. And so day one was all pretty smooth. After my first table broke, I went to another table that was like super soft, and I turned that 16 into like 35 to end the day. And I felt great after day one. Again, it's early, but I liked where I started. And then I did pretty well day 2. I hit some bumps right before the money, and I got into the money with like 18, 19 big blinds, and I ended up getting in with about 600 people left. I got in 25 big blinds, kings against aces, and I flopped the king. And after that, I was like, wow, this seems pretty cool. 50 big blinds at the time was huge. I think average stack was probably a little under 30. So it was actually that hand was actually kind of a triple up because small blind tried to squeeze and then had to fold when the aces reshift, and then I felt sick to my stomach, but I wasn't 3-bet folding kings there, I guess.
I remember you tweeting at one point, I don't know if it was before the hand you mentioned, but you tweeted something that you won the biggest race of your life. Which
that was day 3. Came into day 3 with 160,000. I forget what the blinds were, but I think I was coming back to like 18 bigs. I was under average, and got an ace jack against sixes for like 120 each. I was playing like 200 at the time, and I won that, and that was huge. My table was actually didn't have a lot of chips at the table, so when I had that, it was sweet because I probably then again was at like 350, and next closest to the table was probably like 180. So I definitely felt like in a great spot at the time, and that was huge.
So it sounds like you started to realize the enormity, of the situation.
Yeah, it definitely felt very real there. I knew I was in a great shape, and again, with a field that large, it wasn't. I don't think anybody expected like Ivy and Negreanu to be left at the end. So there was definitely amateurs left. There were definitely still plenty of spots left in the final 10 tables, and I just felt really confident.
Now, was this the first World Series you played in?
Yeah, first event I ever played in. First time I was ever out there for it.
So can you explain a little bit about, I mean, we play, like right now, we have event 1 going on that had like 1,300 people. So, that field to us, for people who stay out here who don't have a chance to go out there is monstrous, But to play in a field of 6,300 people, I mean, can you explain a little bit about...
Yeah, exactly. It's huge. Like, my friends and family who aren't like really into poker, they're like, "Did you think you were going to win this tournament?" And I'm just like, "No, there's 6,400 people in this tournament. Like, no one goes there and it's like, oh, I'm going to win the Millionaire Maker. I'm going to final table the Millionaire Maker. Like, you're clinically insane if you have that type of mindset." But like, I was just like, I was going to give it my best, and then when I made the money and got into it, it was just like, well, now it's a 600-person field, and it seemed much more realistic.
Now, I know Asher Conniff was tweeting a ton for us, better updates than we were getting from Poker News and whatnot.
So great.
But I know your dad was out there too. Is that right?
Yeah, my dad came out. He plays He's a 1-2 player, and he plays small buy-in tournaments. He's a retired guy, and it's one of his favorite hobbies. So he was out there. He was thrilled.
So he was out there regardless before he came out.
Yeah, he flew out. He flew out there with me. He took a couple. He's working his second career now. He's a teacher. He took a couple days off to come out there and be there. And he was the guy that he was just like he from the flight. He was like, "You're gonna win this thing. You're going far." And I'm like, "Thanks for the confidence," but again, it's just like it's not something realistic to be. Oh, you're gonna final table the Millionaire Maker. And he had all the confidence in the world, and it panned true. So,
were you surprised at all with the amount of support that you were getting from? I mean, everyone I could imagine, you know.
Yeah, it was overwhelming. Like it was just really, really cool. Twitter and Facebook and text and calls. It was just nonstop. It was really cool, really humbling. I was just so appreciative of it all.
All right, the night before the final table, like, yeah, what was it like? I mean, honestly, I couldn't imagine. I wouldn't be able to sleep. I know that.
Yeah, we got back and probably got back to the room around 3:30. We had to be back there at 1. I managed to probably fall asleep from like 4:30 to 9:30. But again, when I woke up, it felt as if I never slept. But I did get 5 hours, and at that point, I was just it was no stress, nothing like that. I was just like anxious, like ready to go, and just there at that point, just there for the ride. Like I made it that far. It was just fun at that point.
And going in, did you know like anything about the players that you were against? I mean, I know some of them were amateurs, but some of them were.
I did some research on the final table. Obviously, you don't have to do much research to find out that Dan Kelly's a monster.
Right.
Like, I didn't enjoy where he was, and I can't think of the kid's name right now. But the kid who actually went out in 10th, that kid was phenomenal as well. He has a lot of huge scores. He played with him when we were down to 3 tables, and he was owning me. He was just killing me. I was just bleeding chips to him. When he went out in 10, it was really cool because there was actually already 2 short stacks, so I felt like I was already kind of propelled to 7th. With him going out, I definitely thought, I mean, my chances were a lot greater because he also was to my left. I was happy that he got cooler. I was happy, but yeah, he got cooler to ace king against Kelly's aces, and that helped me a lot as well.
What about your ace king against kings?
What about it?
I mean, that feeling must have been just absolutely insane.
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, obviously, after I 4-bet and pretty much committed myself, and Gray went all in with a 5-bet, I puked, but I obviously wasn't 4-bet folding there. I mean, I had 40 bigs. I wasn't happy to get it in against a guy who had me covered, but I don't know. I guess I should have flatted pre. I just felt bad doing that. I guess I didn't want to see a 2-3-8 flop come and him win the pot with ace queen or win the pot with 9s or something like that. But yeah, when the flop came out, it was a pretty cool feeling seeing everybody freak out like that.
And I mean, again, any time that you get knocked out of a tournament and you're not the last person to be standing, you're going to be slightly upset. But what was your feeling, leaving the tournament? I mean,
I mean, it's going to sound weird or anything, but like, I'm not upset in the slightest. Like, I got the experience of a lifetime. It was incredible. Like, being on that stage was so cool. That was like enough of. It was just awesome. I'll never forget something like that. And then at the end, they're like, "Oh, here's $400,000. You'll enjoy that as well." So like, I just got the experience and then still get the lump of cash. Like, I mean, I'd love to have a bracelet. Obviously, I plan on winning a bracelet in my life, but right now I'm just like, it's no condolences. It's all congrats. I'm like, I would just feel so terrible about myself complaining about that. I know the struggle people go through. I would just feel so awful being like, oh, I feel bad for myself that I got 4th. Like, no, I'm blessed. I'm super happy. It's awesome.
Sure. What would have meant more to you? I mean, $1.4 million or the winning a bracelet and having the notoriety?
We discussed that on dinner, the concept of what if someone offered you close to first place money and wanted the bracelet, what would that come into play? And I think the money means a lot. Obviously, bracelets are awesome. The accomplishment is just like, it's the top of the world in the poker world. But I mean, money's pretty sweet. I mean, like some poker players, I mean, they want the bracelet, of course. But I mean, a lot of them have prop bets and whatnot. But the money was the number one thing on my mind. The bracelet would have been cool in the after fact. But I'm happy with what I want. I'm ecstatic with it, and I plan on being there again for sure.
So you're home now, and what's your schedule like upcoming?
Yeah, I'm home now. I got a flight back out there Monday morning. I'm gonna go play the 3K6 Max, and then there's a 1500 on Thursday, and then I'm gonna fly back. I think and play the Borgata Main. Spend a couple weeks at home, 4th of July, and then go back out there for the main event.
All right, and what'd you do that night? Did you party, or were you kind of just mentally exhausted?
Yeah. We went out. We were out to like 4 or 5 drinking, and just having a really good time, celebrating, and just soaking it all in.
I mean, you made a ton of people proud, and we were all pulling for you. We were super excited. You went from Justin Liberto, known here, at Borgata, to now basically known across the world in the poker community, and we're all super happy for you.
That. Yeah, the support was awesome. I appreciate everybody just railing me and rooting for